Hello everyone and welcome to the show. Orgena Rose here, and I am so glad you're with us because my guest today is a mentor to mothers who have spiritually gifted children. And this is a really exciting topic that will really help you if you start to notice some signs or symptoms and behaviors from your child that you're not quite sure what to do with. So make sure you tune in. We'll be right back. I wanted to create a place where women can come to be empowered. Empowered by other women. Women helping women, with interviews of extraordinary and inspiring leaders, artists, celebrities, and change makers who have overcome great challenges to become incredibly successful and then give back to others so that they can love and believe in themselves, follow their bliss, and shine their light. In this way, we can truly be the change we wish to see in the world. Welcome to the Orgena Rose Show. Hello and welcome back. We are with the amazing Alison Elsberry, mentor to mothers who have spiritually gifted children. So welcome to the show, Alison.
Thanks, Orgena. Thanks for having me.
Oh my goodness, it's so good to have you. And I remember when we first connected and I heard the amazing work that you do, the powerful work that you do, it really just touched me immediately. And so it's really been an amazing journey, getting to know more about what you do and all of the people that you are helping. So how in the world did you come to do this type of work?
Well, I love that question because I get asked all the time.
I'm sure, right?
Yes. So I grew up as a spiritually gifted child. And so I've had the pleasure and challenge, all in the same breath, of going through that experience.
Okay.
And from a really young age, I would see Mother Mary, as far back as I can remember.
Really?
Yes, clear as day. And I just always called her Mary.
Okay.
And she was always on my left side.
Okay.
And it wasn't until I had actual words to describe her that I actually started talking about her to my mom. And I said, well, isn't Mary going to come to dinner with us? And then my mom was like, who
Mary
are you talking about?
Mary who?
Right. And so from there, then the journey really began. And I realized, wow, maybe I'm seeing things that other people aren't aware of, or that aren't, making them feel uncomfortable. So I really wasn't sure how to express that. So as I got older and became a teenager, I really wanted to fit in.
Yes.
And I really wasn't about letting anyone else know what was going on the inside with all the things that I was feeling and experiencing. So it wasn't until I became a pediatric occupational therapist, and I started working with children and families, that I quickly began to realize how much a mother's presence affects the relationship with her child. And it really wasn't until I really started diving deeper into working with kids that moms and kids started coming through my practice. And the moms were asking me all these amazing questions about their children's behavior. And I just seemed to have the answer and seemed to have a way with the words that helped soothe any anxiety or anything that they were really experiencing with their children. It was like I was bridging a gap of communication and consciousness with them. And I went into further training and dove even deeper into what my own spiritual gifts were. And I started reforming an adult relationship with Mother Mary. And I started my own business, and again, moms kept coming in and really asking questions about their children, and Mary started coming through even stronger. And now where I'm at, I like to say that she's my business partner.
Oh, that's pretty cool. This is now that's a twist, right?
Yeah.
Mother Mary for business partner. So, goodness, there's so many directions we could go with this. But what I would love to first do is how would you define spiritually gifted children?
That's another question I get asked a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how I like to answer that is I love to say that everyone on the planet is spiritually gifted. It's it is the truth.
It's the
yes.
truth. Yeah.
It's just a matter if we're really awake to that or not.
Yeah, and I think people might be more comfortable saying something like having a sixth sense, or it was my intuition, or, you know, different
Inner
things.
knowing.
Right, I just had an instinct, a gut feeling.
Right.
So we have different verbiage, if you will, to basically say that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I also know that there are children here in our world right now that their purpose is to help our society evolve into a more peaceful and loving place to live.
That'd be wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they have the capabilities, the skills, and the special talents to help create that reality on this planet. And that's what they're here for.
So what I'm also curious about, because, you know, you would say that you would actually see her. So we're saying as if like I'm sitting here, this is how you would see Mary.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So that palpable and tangible.
Yes.
And was it ever a strange or uncomfortable or scary feeling for you or experience?
It wasn't, because she brought me a tremendous amount of peace and comfort and compassion. And I couldn't understand what the energy exchange and conversation was until now that I've become an adult.
Really?
Yes.
So she would be saying things and giving messages, but you couldn't quite understand them.
I didn't know what to do with it. You know, I didn't know who to be with that information. Right?
Yes.
I didn't know how to take that and then share it outwardly and express it with other people.
Without their heads spinning.
Exactly.
Right?
I didn't know how to express that in a way that felt clear and comfortable for me.
I had another guest on not too long ago, and you know, she has special gifts as well, right? And same thing, you know, she didn't do anything with it until she was much older, and could understand what was happening, and be able to have languaging and a process to be able to actually share that with other people. And we'll talk a little bit more about, you know, how that could show up for children, how mothers and parents, you know, might see that showing up for their children and be able to identify some of those behaviors in a moment. But what I'd love too is, I think so many people actually have their own experiences at a young age, and they suppress it. Right? That was my story, and I think it's the story of so many. So we're going to go a little bit deeper into all of that when we come right back. So come back with us with Alison Elsberry.
No more waiting.
Are you ready to completely catapult your life and business fast? Want to step into the spotlight and finally be seen as the expert and star that you are? Ready to have more fun in your business and work smarter, not harder? Then you're in the right place. Step into the spotlight, shine your light, and be the star you are in the Celebrity VIP Day. If you're done being the best kept secret, want to reach more people, and ready to stop working so hard with little payoff, step up into your celebrity. In this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, you'll get the star treatment. Have a TV talk show interview guaranteed. Be ready to rock the media and interview on national TV, radio, and magazines, and so much more. Your fabulous fun-filled day includes hair and makeup by a top Hollywood makeup artist to the stars, professional photos by a top Hollywood photographer, exclusive VIP lunch at a luxurious castle, a guaranteed interview with Orgena Rose, walk the red carpet, and enjoy a gala reception. As a bonus, you'll receive 4 power-packed live training calls to prepare you to truly shine in the spotlight and maximize your appearances. And a free ticket to the Soul Awards Gala in Hollywood, honoring extraordinary women who are shining their light by helping others. You're now a recognized celebrity and reaching more people than you ever have before. It's all possible with the Celebrity VIP Day. Only 12 spots available for this exclusive experience, so don't wait. Apply now. And we are back with Alison Elsberry, who is sharing how she mentors mothers who have spiritually gifted children. And so, Alison, I would love to go into now a little bit deeper into what are some of the signs and symptoms and behaviors of a spiritually gifted child.
Yeah. Well, before I dive into some of the most common things that I see,
okay,
what I really want people to know is that this is not an all-inclusive list. Anything is possible.
Especially in this realm, right? In this area.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to cover are truly things that tend to be more common, that moms talk about more, that their children are expressing, but it certainly doesn't mean that this is it. Okay. You know, if a mom says, oh, well, they have that sign but not this, but they're also doing something else.
Right.
Great. You know, there's no all-inclusive checklist or a test.
Okay, good.
You know, anything of that nature.
Well said, well said. Yeah. All right.
So, first thing that is really common is that kids seem to have an intuitive and perceptive sense. They are incredibly intuitive and perceptive. They just seem to know things without being told. And how that can show up is kids can often be reading people's minds really well. You know, they're just really intuitive about their mother's thoughts. You know, maybe they already know what you're thinking and anticipate that before you even take action on that. A lot of kids can walk into a room and immediately feel overwhelmed or anxious by all of the energy and emotions that are going on with people because they just perceive, you know, what's beyond our physical pain, you know, how people are really feeling. Another way that shows up is that kids can oftentimes be so incredibly aware of other children's feelings. You know, the real compassionate children who want to go up and hug everyone, or, you know, they have a gift for healing hands and they just want to place them on people, help them feel better. Those are some of the ways that sign shows up for sure.
Interesting. Okay.
And another sign that I commonly see is that children have a clear connection to spirit. So this can show up. This can show up in a number of different ways. So one of the ways is that kids can really see spirits, angels, other guides, even other family members that might have passed. That's really, really common. And they might start talking about that. Or if your children are pre-verbal, they may be pointing at things in a room. And you wonder, what are they looking at? Right? And you turn around and you don't see anything. Right. Or maybe your child has what some people refer to as an imaginary friend. Right?
Yes, I was going to ask that. So many times they're actually...
That's real. You know, that's really real for them. And it's serving a purpose. You know, there's a clear connection there. And, you know, you may even hear your children talking out loud to their friends, you know, but they have this connection. Some children truly do see the spirits, and other children may just feel the presence or hear the words or just feel something, you know, different. So that's very common.
I think this is so great, and I don't really think there's a person out there who's watching right now who maybe even themselves hasn't experienced at least one of those things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're not alone.
And I think that was I think the biggest thing of why I really wanted to have you on the show, is because, you know, it used to be we just did not talk about these things. You would be seen as crazy, kind of, you know, out there, something's wrong, it's a problem. Thankfully, in our day, you know, today we're seeing more of this. We're hearing more examples, and they're legitimate and they're real and they're happening with greater, I'm going to say awareness, because it's not they're happening more. They're just now we're talking about it more. So I think it's really wonderful that you are helping to bring this subject out even more, and especially directing it to mothers who can help the next generation, so that it's not so like hush-hush secret, and we can really just own the fact that this exists.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm glad that you frame it in that way, because so much of what you just said also relates to the moms.
Yeah.
They're spiritually gifted too.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes, you are.
That's why they're showing up, right? Because,
they're acting as a true reflection of their mother's own potential and possibility as well.
I love that.
Yeah. And, you know, these children are truly coming in to change how we're raising the next generation of spiritual leaders on the planet.
Beautiful. Really beautiful.
Yes, it's powerful.
That is very, very powerful.
It's very powerful.
And that's why your work is so powerful.
Yes.
Really, truly.
Thank you.
And so you were taking us through a number of the kind of signs and behaviors. What were a couple of more that we could look for and help folks to see?
Definitely. So a lot of children will have sensitivity to their environment, what they feel on the inside and external of them.
Yes.
So again, they can walk into a room and immediately pick up on what's going on in the energy, the nonverbal communication of other people. But, you know, they can also be really sensitive to their own emotions. You know, maybe your child's really strong-willed.
Yes.
You know, and they have a certain way and an expectation of how they want things done or how they want things to go. And that's beyond the normal childhood development.
Right? That's beyond just the like normal terrible twos or something, right?
Because they have a clear knowing. You know, they have an ability to perceive and see beyond what's going on in the moment. And they have that sensitivity to spirit and can maybe even perceive, you know, future events in that way. And so they just can sometimes have a real clear knowing in that way.
And would you say that a lot of parents will notice that it seems their child is extra sensitive? You know, this is a word that we say quite a bit in our society. Oh, you're so sensitive.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes, and I'm glad that you brought that up again, because a lot of children who are spiritually gifted actually get mistaken for fragile, overly sensitive, too emotional. You know, we can go on and on about that, right?
And really, it's part of their spiritual gifting.
Because they know how to feel. And that is an important part of being a human being.
I think it's one that we try not to have.
Right.
You know, the kind of Star Trek, Spock, all of that. We've kind of celebrated not feeling. And we've made feeling somehow not good or bad or less than the intellect. Right?
Exactly. You know, and children who are sensitive to the world around them is a real gift, because they need to be in their body and feeling their experience in order to share their message and gift in the world, because our bodies are the vehicle for our message.
Very much gives us signs, right? And to listen to it.
Yes.
But yet, that's another way that we've disconnected quite a bit.
Yes.
And that leads perfectly, Alison, into, you know, exactly then how can we, as a society, but certainly mothers, how can they then recognize and then respond to what their child is getting? So we'll find out more about that with Alison Elsberry. Come right back. What truly sets you apart from your competition? Do you know the answer? Most business owners don't, and the truth is, it's what can make or break your business. Every business wants it, but few know how to get it, and that is instant recognition. The kind you get when you hear a slogan, some piece of music, or even see a logo that brings a specific brand to mind. Many businesses and organizations spend a great deal of time and energy on the visual and forget the audio. Just like you would never send out a print piece without your logo on it, we recommend all your audio should be branded with an audio logo. These are simple and relatively inexpensive to create and help you develop a consistency that most others lack. Think about some of your favorite audio logos. McDonald's with ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. Or NBC with or any of the others you might know. Build consistency with it and take it across your TV, web, and live events for maximum benefit. Contact us today to find out how you can get your very own customized audio jingle with our empowering music branding. And we're back with Alison Elsberry, who is sharing with us some of the signs and behaviors that you can notice with your children to see if indeed they are specially gifted. So Alison, you've been sharing an incredible list of lots of signs that not only mothers can see in their children, but even recognize for ourselves. Yes. Because each of us, so many of us, have been through these journeys and have either suppressed them, tried to forget them, pretend they do nothing to it. I know for me, I remember the first time I was about 9 years old and I had a dream. I was spending the night over a friend's house, and we woke up the next morning and we're all sitting around having breakfast at the table. And I said, I had the strangest dream last night. I dreamt that Eric Estrada had a motorcycle accident. And it was night and all of this, and I'm going through great detail. And while we're sitting there, within minutes, breaking news, this just in, Eric Estrada had a motorcycle accident last night, and da-da-da-da-da. And yes, everyone turns to look at me. Yes. And that's like one of the most awkward moments, because you can't explain it, you don't understand it, and no one else does either. Right. So there's not anyone to help guide that conversation. Right. So that's why I really think your work is so important, to just help facilitate those kinds of conversations.
Yes,
and that's just one, right? Like, that's a dream, and I had other things, but so many people have other things as well. And there are other signs to look for, yes?
So another sign that I commonly see is that children will have this wisdom far beyond their years. So they can say one-liners, they can say wisdom that seems so far beyond their actual chronological age.
Yeah.
And it makes you stop in your tracks and say, gosh, where did that come from?
Right, how do they know that?
Yes. Yeah. And they'll also a lot of times have this real curiosity and fascination about things. They might be very inquisitive and wanting to really learn as much information as they can about things that might seem new, or a fascination that they're really passionate about.
Okay.
And something else that I see a lot is that children will remember past life experiences at a really young age, and they'll start talking about it and describing it as if it just happened yesterday.
Yes, yes.
Yes. A story that I would love to share is about a mom who was telling me that her daughter woke up and she would go out into their garden every morning. She was about maybe 5 or 6, and she came back in, and her mom was really curious, and she said, what are you doing out there? And she said, I'm, talking to the fairies and the angels out by the flowers. And her mom said, oh, okay. And then she started having her breakfast, and the little girl said, I'm getting my wings. I'm getting my wings. I feel them. I feel them unfolding. I feel them unfurling. And she said, I've been waiting for this lifetime for them to finally unfurl, because I've had them in every other realm that I've lived in.
And how old was she?
5.
Holy
5.
moly.
Yes.
Wow.
So this is very real in our society. It's not make-believe.
Right.
This is magical. These are some of the magical things that children are really connected to. And she had a fascination with winged beings, angels, fairies, dragons that had wings.
And so how can you help a parent to distinguish, a mother especially, to distinguish between when it is imagination and fun and play and real?
Is there really any difference?
Ooh, good question. Good one. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
For children, there isn't that separation of that. What feels like is in their imagination actually is truly real. And
there's actual scientific proof around that, those kinds of, concepts around what we believe or think. Yeah. There's parts of our brain that doesn't distinguish between a fantasy or an idea or a thought and reality. Right. It's all one and the same. Right. Think about creativity. Right. Right. Where does it come from? Right. Yeah. Yeah. That comes from the divine mind.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you would suggest for mothers to do in response to moments like that? Yeah.
That's a great question.
It is, right? Because now that's the place in which we're at. Okay, we all may notice lots of things, but like in that situation I was in, how can one facilitate a response to help move it forward now?
Curiosity. Coming from a place of curiosity without any judgment. You know, saying, wow, tell me more about that. You know, it helps children feel safe.
Yes.
And it and it starts establishing trust between you and your child, because you're seeing how safe that space is for you to open up that dialogue.
Yes.
That's what they desire.
Yes.
They truly desire to share that part of themselves with you. So the more that you can help create that space by remaining curious and open, you know, almost meeting them in their energy of being curious and playful about it. And I really do understand that sometimes it can feel scary. I really do get that. I really do. But it is just as important to not only acknowledge how you're feeling, but also keep that communication open with your children. Because they're equal level master souls. They
say that again.
are. They are equal level master souls.
That's powerful.
It is.
That's really, really powerful.
And they want to be treated as such.
Yes. I think that's really, really key. You know, for years, there were a number of years post-college that I was a teacher and taught, and even started with, you know, really young. And I remember loving the age from 3 to 6 because their minds were like sponges and their imagination was limitless. And they would just learn and take in so quickly. But there was that piece that I found to be so, so crucial and so powerful. That indeed I didn't talk to them or treat them as if they are children, right? Little, lesser, or anything like that. They are another being, and they have their own mind and heart and thoughts and beliefs and understandings, and to treat them with that respect as well. And they feel that.
They do.
They know the difference. They can feel the difference
They can.
when an adult is speaking down to them as a child versus speaking to them as another being.
That's how power struggles get created. And I know that power struggles are common between parent and children.
Sure. And especially come teenage years and all of the terrible twos, and then again at the teenage.
Of course, and especially if children are showing signs of being spiritually gifted and behaviors that maybe can't be explained by reading a book or asking other people about it. You know, it can trigger feelings of fear or overwhelm and doubt. You know, a lot of moms will question their capability. Am I really cut out for this?
Am I being a good mother? All of that questioning of self. So what would you suggest to those mothers who may be in that place, you know, when their child is having these experiences and they can't quite meet them with curiosity in that moment? What are some of the things they can do for self-care?
Breathe. It sounds
back to the basics.
It sounds really simple, but yet your breath will always bring you back into the present moment. Feel your feet on the ground and start breathing. And also trust that you and your child have been divinely matched together. You know, you chose each other long ago. So you're the perfect person to be raising them.
That's a beautiful, powerful message. I hope everyone really, really hears that. So that, you know, that can put an end to some of those fears and questions. So beautiful. What would you say as a final thought, Alison, for anyone out there who either they themselves or they know of a special spiritually gifted child in their world?
We all want to be accepted and acknowledged and honored for the gift that we are. And so simply saying, I see you, can be 3 of the most powerful and most influential words that you could ever say to your child.
That is so true. There's actually an African tribe that they begin ceremony by saying just that. I see you. That's all they say.
Yes.
So powerful.
Yes, it is.
Right?
Because we don't have to get it,
Right.
understand,
Right.
but just to accept and come into that place of acknowledging,
Yes.
that's where it starts.
Beautiful. Excellent. Alison, this is only the tip of the iceberg, but it has been absolutely amazing to have you. And I would, of course, love for anyone to be able to connect with you. How can folks, really step in to connect with you and get the help that they need?
The best way is to go to my website. That's a great way. There's a lot of information on there. There's more signs and symptoms to help you determine that you are parenting a spiritually gifted child. Because I don't really think it's a question of if you are or you're not. You are.
Right.
And there is an abundance of resources there to really help you.
Excellent.
Yes.
Beautiful. And of course, we'll have the link there for you right below so you can click and connect with Alison. And again, just thank you so much for being with us and sharing your gifts and shining your light in the way that you are.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank all of you for being with us at this time. I hope you've heard and seen something that helps you to shine your light a little bit brighter. Thank you. Bye for now. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for being with us today on our show. I really hope that there was something shared that really helps you shine your biggest and brightest light. Please stop by again, like us on Facebook, tweet us, all of those good things. And most importantly, please always remember, it's all about love.